Good morning once again. Praise God. Thank you for giving me opportunity to stand before you, and thank you for the time. Okay, and to start with, I was working as a nurse at the Royal, and it so happened on 11th of October 2017, I was called by the hematologist and said that I have got bone marrow cancer. Until then, I don't know, I was so good and active, no problem, no medical issue at all. Just imagine, each one in that place, how, isn't it? It was unbelievable, okay, and I don't know what all words I could say. And really, I asked the doctor, is that my results? I couldn't believe and just imagine how I could accept and how my family and this all, I don't know. And anyway, what the doctor said was, we will start with the chemotherapy. And because it was really the bone marrow cancer is, it's very worse in condition. It's like the rate of they mainly look for paraprotein that's supposed to be 0 to 10, but I had it nearly 59.9, and that is like worse reading. And anyway, the doctor said that we will start very intensive treatment immediately on 11th of October 2017, diagnosed, and started within a couple of weeks, very intensive, very advanced, new in UK and around European countries and around America, like that. They explained everything. And many of you do know how the journey was, and we gave it in God's hand. We said, because as we sang, it's Him to fight, isn't it? Whatever we face, we have to give it in His hands. So we just gave it in His hands, and I started having all treatments, and then they did bone marrow cancer in 2018 April. He said, okay, that's because everything is working, we will do it. Okay, I gave myself, and we only accepted whatever their plans were. We said, okay, carry on. But He was our anchor. God was only anchor for us. We didn't ask anything. We didn't say no at all. We said, okay, carry on, do it. But we were holding only God's promises. And 2018 April, I had my bone marrow transplant, and then I had shingles, which affected me, the worst shingles. Shingles, you may be knowing, they call it a type of chicken pox. We also call that in medically elderly chicken pox, and it's caused by virus, and it affected my back. It was so severe, worse shingles. I had it, and that. What happened after bone marrow transplant, shingles, and then in month of August 2018, the doctors said your results were improving, but now it's all gone worse, and your bone marrow transplant has failed. It was in August. You may be knowing I was really gone to nearly 38 to 40 kilos. I was so bony and skinny and malnourished. My look was so awkward, like you don't know how I was. And but everything we went was, I was so happy in Lord, and our family, we were only praising God. We said, no, it's in your hand. I am your child. It's you. It's you who is looking after me. So that's how we committed. Then when the doctor said that the bone marrow transplant failed because of the shingles and all infections and this and that, they cannot give me any life expectancy. They said it's hard because we have given you all advanced treatments. There is nothing to go for next treatment. And your life is very short. This was told in August 2018. You may live 6 months or so, or less than that. And just imagine, Then we said, okay, we brought the government paper, what they gave it for government, because I was working, isn't it? I have to give it to my unit, isn't it? To my HR. So I brought the letter, we kept it in the Bible, and we prayed. And this is how I said, God, I am your child. Okay? I'm not going to cry or I'm not going to please you, but you have to do it. This shouldn't happen. I am your child. You have to do miracles. Okay? This is the prayer. I kept on praying. I said, no, I am your child. I want this. I want to be testifying you. And me and my household will be serving you. That's how we were. I said, no, we have to do it more than what. And we want to be testifying you. We have to live. This was daily prayer. I said, okay. Again, the doctor said, okay, we will go for one of the other treatments, the chemo. Said it may or may not work. So we put that letter in the Bible. We kept it and said, the Lord, you are doing within 3 months. I'm telling you, the paraprotein raised up. Yeah. And it was, after failure, it was going higher. That's how they found out. And then after they started this, it may or may not help, the treatment did help me, and it is helping until today. You believe it or not, from 59.9, it has come down to 2.8. God is so good. Yeah, God is so good. And another one, after this bone marrow transplant failed and started this one, and because of steroids, and I had I started having diabetes, and they have to start me on insulin, and I was on insulin. Imagine, bone marrow transplant failed, worse shingles, and then diabetes, steroids-induced diabetes, insulin. Imagine, one after the other. But still we said, okay, we will go for it. But you have to do it. It's your work. It's not me. It's not us. It's not anything else. It's in your hands. So he did. And then after some times, everything was in control, and they stopped insulin, and I'm on tablets now. And because of steroids, I started having, next was bilateral cataract. Yeah, and meantime, because my results were improving, the hematologist planned for me to have donor transplant. They were planning because they got donors, and they want me to have a donor transplant in 2019, later 2019, they were planning for me to go for donor transplant. I said, oh, after going these all things, again donor transplant. I couldn't accept. I couldn't take it because I know how much I was suffering, and my family, everything. I wasn't double-minded. But still, I said, no, if it is a God's plan. Okay, we said to the doctors, we will go home for holiday. And I have to, because they were really waiting to see us. So we went for holiday. We said to the family members, they said, okay, we will pray but it's all in our hands, isn't it? It's us to decide. They said, oh, again. I said to bone marrow transplant doctors, just give us a few months to decide, to think. But we kept it in God's hand. God, if it is your will, I will go for it. Okay, and that's how. By the time, because the cataract affected my eyes, and I couldn't read the Bible even, And then they referred me to the ophthalmologist, and they said, no, you have to go for cataract surgery. But because I was on blood thinner and I was extremely vulnerable, they said they can't do it. If something goes wrong, they don't want to take the risk. But then hematologist said, okay, I can go for it. In 2020 January, before to that, I asked the bone marrow transplant doctors which one to go, whether to surgery or for the bone marrow transplant. They said it's better for you to go for surgery, because after bone marrow transplant, you can't go for any other thing for a year or so. So better go for it. So in 2019 January, I had my right eye cataract. And then they said after a couple of months, you will be having your left eye. But you know what happened in 2020? COVID. So I was extremely vulnerable. One eye operated, the other one wasn't operated. And the doctor said, you can't have it now because you are extremely vulnerable. You can't come to hospital. You believe it or not, 1.5 years. One eye operated, I can't read the Bible, I can't see. The other one was going worse. I cannot go to ophthalmologist to put my eyeglasses because one is operated, the other one is not unoperated. They can't do it. So I was like a blind for 1.5 years. Yeah. In 2021, May, I had my left eye surgery was done. So first one was January 2000. And second one was May 2021. From January to January, May, the second eye was operated. But now I don't know what's the plan with my bone marrow transplant because the doctor's saying it's not now because of COVID. Okay, but on 11th of October 2021, I celebrated 4 years. God has added 4 years where the doctor said you may or may not live. Yeah. Everything, how God is so great, isn't it? My friends, like me, you may be going. We can share or which we cannot share something, isn't it? It's all within us. But our God is great. He is our anchor until today. And I know until one day we all are going to go, but we have to be testifying. Sorry, in a minute. In 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 6 to 7 says, He is gracious to us, God remembers us, He is listening to us, He looks at us, He loves us. Do not be ashamed of His testimony. Share our story with others. That's what I am here to share. And God is with you all, and one day you all are going to be. Whatever you're facing today, just leave it. He is the anchor, and He is with you all. Thank you for time.
Should we start the worship?
ஆண்டவர் எனக்கு செய்து வருகிற அற்புதத்தின் சாட்சியை பார்க்கும் உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் என் நன்றிகளை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். இதை உங்கள் குடும்பத்தாரோடும் நண்பர்களோடும் உறவினர்களோடும் உங்களை சூழ்ந்திருக்கிற அனைவரோடும் தயவு செய்து பகிர்ந்து கொள்ளவும். ஜெப குறிப்புகளோ உங்கள் அனுபவ சாட்சிகளோ இருப்பின் அதை பகிர்ந்து கொள்ள விருப்பப்பட்டால் கீழ்கண்ட இமெயில் மூலமாக தெரியப்படுத்தவும். ஆண்டவர் தாமே உங்கள் அனைவரையும் ஆசீர்வதிப்பாராக.